What's up, everyone? In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through the process of how I went from these jumps to something a bit better like this. Like this. There we go. Yes, that's much better. And of course, we'll be doing this for my dream projects, the Steps of Divynia. So what are we waiting for? Let's get this show on the road. Also, before we begin with anything, I do want to go ahead and mention that this video does not go heavily into any kind of code. This is more of just a design video, so if you're here hoping for like a really in-depth look into how the code works, this video is not for you, but I might do one in the future if people are interested. To get started here, we had this problem where the jump was floaty. I mean, I thought it was fine, but like apparently other people around me were like, no, that jump doesn't look right. And I'll give them credit where credit is due. When I checked other games, and I'm going to do a bit of a frame by frame here with some other games besides this floaty jump, can see that that's slow, it's responsive, but it also has a bit of a hang time, which means that it takes a bit too long to get from the height of the jump back down. And then of course, even though I had put some increased gravity on the going down, it just wasn't enough. So yeah, we had to fix all that. And then of course, we have some other issues here where there's really no forgiveness if the player accidentally jumps too soon when they've already jumped once and they're coming back down. If they try to jump, the game won't register it unless they're hitting the ground, which of course is not a good thing considering I really want some tight sections where they have to jump repeatedly. And then of course the other issue is that there was no forgiveness after they would leave the ground and the game considered them no longer on the ground. If they tried to jump after going down, they would just keep falling, and yeah, they'd be yelling at the screen at the game going, why? And the game would just be like, So anyway, we had to fix all that. So, because I thought it was fine, I had to go on a bit of a research spree to begin with. So cue the research montage. And while that's going on, I found quite a lot of different YouTube videos that talked about jumps, most of them specifically talking about jumps in Unity, which is perfect for me. I will leave those links down into the description for anyone who might be interested. Basically, it boiled down to, creating some timers and some other stuff, so that's good. And then of course I got to this video, the GDC video. Don't get me wrong, it's a great video. It's just all of that scientific-y, physics-y, I don't even know what kind of talk, gave me a headache, and honestly, this was me most of the time. Pretty screen, graphs go brrr. I don't know what this is saying, so yeah, I'm totally a programmer, right guys? Right? Like, I know programmy stuff. Smiles? I'm a failure. Anyway, and then the last thing I finally decided to do was actually, like I mentioned, play some other games, Metroidvanias that feature jumps, and honestly see how they feel. And I came up with two different kind of jumps. One that is a lot faster, like more velocity going up and down, and honestly, it's about the same, a little bit faster going down than up. And then the other one being almost the same, except for the downward velocity, taking only about half the time as the upward velocity, at least from what I can tell. Maybe I'm blind and I can't see, but yeah. And so then it came time to implement the changes, and well, I went into this thinking, jumping is such a simple mechanic, this won't take any time to fix this week. My devlog will be about several different things. Well, you know as well as I do if you're watching this video is only about jumping because, well, this happened. The very first thing is I crumbled my entire state machine because the way I was handling ground checks before was basically when players players were pressing buttons, and after certain animations were ending, instead of having it in a fixed update. And oh my gosh, changing it from to listen to certain things to fixed update, oh my goodness, it all came tumbling down, and I was like, I wanted to cry because I felt like I had taken so many steps backwards, and Unity was just over there like, oh, you've got so many errors, ha ha ha, and I was like, I just honestly thought about taking out the whole entire state machine and just putting it all in one player script, or attaching like 8 player scripts or 8 scripts to the player and doing it that way. But ultimately I decided that, you know what? No, we're just gonna make this work, and make it work I did. 4 hours later, there went practically an entire day. And then of course the second main issue is that I sent the player flying a bit too much. Yeah, the player kind of went all over the place, or sometimes just wouldn't go anywhere at all, which I guess is the exact opposite of the problem, which is not doing anything. Smiles. And ultimately, what it ended up having to do was changing so many different stuff in the game. Like, I had to change the mass for the character. I ended up playing with gravity scale. I ended up playing with both linear and angular drag. It was just any little variable that could be manipulated, I manipulated. And I'm usually the type of person that's like, keep it as simple as possible, but no, this time I was like, no, we gotta like change this, we gotta try this, we gotta try this, we gotta try this. And then finally I got this. So what did I learn at the end of this 1 week headache, basically? Well, I learned that oftentimes the simpler something is, the harder it is in reality, and trying to get it to work and work in a way that feels good for the game and is like considering, you know, okay, what's the level design going to be like? What do I want the player's response to be? How do I want the game flow to feel? All of these things I had to take into consideration, and then there was no one over my shoulder, yes, do it that way, or no, that's not correct, and I just don't know. And then when I finally did get some feedback, it was like, no, she jumps too high. No, she just doesn't come down fast enough. No, it just doesn't go up fast enough. And I'm just, oh my gosh, what is the right answer? I don't even know. Like, at the end of this video, it's called The Search for the Perfect Jump, but spoiler alert, I guess that's more of the audience will have to decide. So let me know, do you think this jump looks pretty good? If you do, then awesome. And then furthermore, to kind of conclude with this video, I also wanted to let you know that my plans for this YouTube channel is to release a video every week, going over either devlog or something I found interesting. And of course, if you all do want tutorials for me in the future, maybe even some tutorials here and there, although I don't feel entirely qualified at this point to be teaching that kind of stuff, but we'll see. So over the course of the past week, you can notice that I ended up having a lot of stress and anxiety over, you know, certain systems, even though appearing simple, were a lot more difficult than I imagined. So if you're interested in the thing that I think kills far more indie studios than just like the workload, check out this video here. And until next time, stay awesome, keep creating, and spark the imagination. Goodbye for now.